Guys, deluded, we've been linked with William Carvalho again for like the 7th year in a row, so let's just get into it. Would I take him? Yes, on the basis that I've told you guys many a time there's a case for two different sorts of midfielders. We're never going to sign two, so really it's just one or the other. There's the need for the playmaker of Santi. Of course we need Santi's type, but when I say Santi, I talk about the playmaker, the someone that's going to receive it off the centre-backs, play it forward, allow Ozil and these players to stay further forward and be in positions they can impact the game. That's what Santi does for us. So when I say Santi, it's that. It doesn't have to be Santi ball-footed and things like that. We need that. We also need the Coquelin type. Again, similar to Santi, I don't mean necessarily that, but someone that wants to put their foot in and things like that. It's very much Carvalho. He's an enforcer. He's someone that will put a foot in. He's someone that will recover possession. Someone that takes a joy in recovering possession. Of course, he's got physically great attributes, excellent positional skills, and things of that nature. Every club's run the rule over him. Every club's been linked with him, from all the big clubs down to the likes of West Bromwich. You're seeing linked with him for 20-odd million and things like that. Rumours he can go for 27, just over. I think his release clause is 40 million. Forgive me if I'm wrong. That's a bit low if it is true. So yeah, all the big clubs have seemed to have called their interest. He is polarised in opinion. I've seen some good appearances, but I've also seen some anonymous appearances. On his bad day, he can look a bit lethargic. I don't want to question his athleticism or his stamina, but it does look like sometimes he's not as dynamic and as mobile as he possibly can. Obviously, if you're less mobile and stuff, you can't really recover and get into positions of recovery to make a last ditch slide tackle, ultimately prevent a goal. That is what we need, and on the basis that we have Xhaka, who we very much need an enforcer for, two very immobile somewhat players and very stiff, and while they've both got qualities, they're not exactly the greatest athletes. Would it be best putting them in the midfield? One benefit though is he does play defensive mid, or the half-back if you want to call it that, and he can play centre-half. That means when we play free at the back, when I tell you guys when you can release the shackles and play actually free at the back, not exactly 5 or however you guys look at it, and you can have a midfielder drop into the back three, making it a 4, so you can play more attacking players, so you can play some players who you probably shouldn't out wide, so they can just get games and things like that. That's where Carvalho comes into it. It's similar to how Busquets, of course, they're not the same playmaking wise, but he'll drop in and make it a 4 at the back, and he'll somewhat protect and screen and enforce, as Thierry Henry says about Coquelin, somewhat be a policeman. I don't know that example, but yeah, you get where I'm going with that. Decent at the under-21 championships a few years ago when Portugal had a number of players. He was decent at the Euros. I think he missed the semi-final because he was suspended, if my timeline serves me correctly. If I can remember rightly, Danilo did overshadow him, though I won't lie. Danilo did look like a player there. But this guy would be a player if we did turn out and sign him. I don't know if it's true. Personally, I'm pretty pessimistic on if we are going to get him. It wouldn't be the worst of signings, and it would be somewhat we somewhat need. The main thing I'd say about him is the lethargic and the athleticism to a degree, especially when he gets tired. Another thing is his yellow cards, because if you look at the last 2 seasons, he's got what, 10 and 9 or 10. You might as well just let's call it 10 in the last couple seasons. I might have been 13 the season before last. So of course I'm not a referee. I don't know how the suspension process works, but if you look at all of that, and you're getting them yellow cards consistently, like some people say about Xhaka, even though Xhaka's had to calm it down. If you do that, you're going to get suspended from games. You're suspended from games, you're not going to be there. And the reason we bought you is so you can be there. There's no use for you if you're never available, if you get what I mean. But you can learn all of that. You can get all of that out of your game. He's a good player. So at times he does ball watch as well. I do think he could, I don't want to say sniff out errors before they come, but he can read the game a bit more, drop off a couple of yards if you do see something opening, cover someone's position. But he's still, I don't want to say young, but he's at the age where he's still learning, and he will get there where he'll be at the level where it'll all be perfect and it will all click for him. You could do a lot worse than signing him, in my opinion. Last year, I think he made 43 appearances. Like, yeah, man. The season before that, around 29 or something. So he's someone that stays relatively fit. It's just a case of suspensions. Don't know how the yellow card and red card process works in Portugal. But the only concerns I can see, like I just said, is athleticism, the lethargic nature when he's tired, and to a degree his general play with that, and the yellow cards. That's about it. Technically, for the role we need, and he ticks all the boxes. He is someone that we need. On top of that, allegedly he was an Arsenal fan and he loved Thierry Henry, and at a point, I don't know if now, but at a point he was wearing number 14 because of Thierry Henry. 2 different players, but you get where I'm going. You could do a lot wrong than not sign him. And I mean, if it really is 27 to 40 million, I mean, you've been quoted higher figures for him in the past, especially when he was getting all the hype by all the football geniuses and things like that. So you never know, guys. But if true, not the worst of signings. And on the basis that there's a case we need him, bring it. Yeah, guys. Delulu Lagoon, I'm signing out. Get in the comments, subscribe. Thank you for watching.